Hi, everyone. My name is Wyatt and me and Patrick are doing chapter 43, which is why does the Pareto principle explain so many things? And we're also in pod two. So moving right into things. So power laws. The power law explains the widespread presence of the Pareto principle. So X is the unknown quality and must equal a positive integer. You can see the formula on the slide there. It says that in a few examples of this is a person's income, the number of units purchased by a customer, or a number of hits a website gets. So through this X follows a power law if the fraction that equal X is given by the formula here on the side. As you can see, C is chosen to make the sum of the probabilities equal to 1. The case also talks about power laws with alpha 2 briefly, and this says that they are useful as they imply that the second largest item should be the half as large as the large item. Then the third largest item should be one third the size of the largest item. So this would just continue on. So now talking about the 20% rule. So let's assume 100 customers purchase between 1 and 1,000 units from 100 different companies. And the probability that the customers buy X amount of units is given by the power law 0.532 times X to the negative 1.8 power. This constant of 0.532 ensures that the sum of the probability of a customer ordering between 1 and 1,000 equals 1. And you can see this in the chart. I got this chart from the case, and it shows the probability that a customer buys between 1 and 20 units. And with that, you can see there's over a 50% chance that a customer buys 1 unit, but after that, the probability decreases significantly, quite drastically too, and happens quickly. It goes from 50% right down to about 15. And we can use this data to generate the number of units bought by 100 customers. So now I'll pass it over to Patrick to talk about the remainder of the case and wrap it up for us.
All right, so looking at the Pareto principle and its relation to income and websites in the United States. While we did talk about the 20/80 rule in businesses and business models with products and profits, we now look at the Charles Jones theory and its relation to wealth disparity in America. Charles Jones explains the relationship between power laws and the fact that income follows the Pareto principle. Essentially, the big idea that he presented through his models is that a small fraction of people will have a preponderance of the income in this country, or a significant portion of total wealth is consolidated to the top 1%. Now pushing on to social media or popular sites in the US. 5 most visited websites in the US are YouTube, Wikipedia, Facebook, Twitter, and Amazon. Together, they have more hits than 95% of other websites. Once again, reiterating the idea that the few will attract the bulk in American websites, social media, and other aspects such as income or other things or profits, business models like we discussed before. Here we do have 2 visuals to speak to these testaments. The one on the left obviously showing the share of American wealth owned by the 400 richest Americans, showing a steady incline from 1980 to 2010. And the one on the right showing the share of American wealth owned by the bottom 60%, showing a steady decline from 1980 to 2010. We then push on to the J. Newman, which explains the idea of the rich get richer. He uses the example of 2 social media sites to speak to this theory. If there are 2 sites, SN1 and SN2, and a new user considers signing up for both, there's a higher probability that the person will join the site with more active users. They model this idea by saying SN1 has F1 followers and SN2 has F2 followers. In this example, if there are 50 followers as F1, then 50 divided by 100 plus 50 equaling 1/3 or 33% chance the person joins F1, with SN2 having 66.6% chance that the person will join S2. If the person joins SN1, the next person's chance of joining SN1 would be 51 divided by 151. We then reran this 1,000 times and charted it. The chart shows SN1 starting with different members varying from 5 to 100 members, with a chance SN1 ends with more members than SN2. As you can see, there's implying a higher edge in initial starting members will then in turn result in a substantial long-run edge in total members, thus accurately concluding the idea that rich will get richer in a very large percentage of the time with very few outliers. Thank you for listening to our presentation. We're looking forward to the comments.